squad, I'm gonna get mine. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't tell me how you're all been down. When you're smiling in my face, but you play me like a clown. It's your fool, bitch. So just step back. I'm mad dad when I come down straight. I thought you were my piece, but you played me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. Y'all feel slightly this, let's resist. Raise your fist and pump like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, and you know it's mine. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Lefty, let's roll.
Yes, sir. It's Thursday night. It's the Ignorance is No Excuse podcast. And we're here with Jake. Hi, Jake.
What's going on?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I've been smoking some Obama runs all day, and it's got me in a nice, giggly mood. How are you?
Nice. Do me a favor. Host the show for a minute. I have to go grab some batteries. So now you're the official host. So be funny.
Oh, man.
Ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Ready, go. I love doing this.
All right. But then, first time on the podcast, you're just going to leave me in charge? You're going to get fucking raided or something over this. Well, anyway, welcome to Lefty's podcast, now hosted by Jake of the UFCW. I'm going to talk about workers' rights until Lefty gets back and kicks me off. If you don't have a union, get one and make your boss pay you better. Get the medical benefits you deserve, and then find Lefty somewhere and smoke him out and thank him for his activism.
Yeah, smoke.
Am I still the host? Are you back?
Yeah, dab me up, please.
Nice. All right, you're in. Tag out.
Tag. Wow, that was a good job. That was great, dude.
Yeah, well, look, it was either I start rambling or I'm going to start talking about Legos. You had a 50-50 shot.
I put you on the spot there. I love it. Well, I had to grab a battery, so yeah, you know, I got shit to do here.
Hey, at least you didn't electrocute yourself. Shit.
Right,
I am allowed to curse on here, right?
No. Did you curse? Oh, hold on. We got to restart the podcast. Hold on.
Oh yeah, like 3 or 4 times over. So you gotta go way back.
Hold on. I got to restart the podcast.
Wait, actually.
Okay, we're good.
All right, I didn't know that. Oops.
There we go. All right, we're all set here. So yeah, I saw that Hugh won this really cool award the other day, and I was so happy for him. He was amazing. He just goes around and just spreads good cannabis cheer wherever he goes.
Hugh is an amazing person. He's so dedicated to all of this, not just cannabis, not just unions, but the people themselves. It's crazy.
Yeah. He's a really good people person, and we should all strive to be more like Hugh, because some of you all I want to punch in the nose, and I don't think Hugh's ever punched anyone in the nose.
I don't think he has. I think if anything, he's been bopped in the nose a couple times too many.
He might have been.
But he really is dedicated.
Yeah, well, he would take one for the team, like you said, you know.
Not just one for the team, he would take several for the team. But like he had a family emergency today, right? And we were filing for a card count with another dispensary, and still through the family emergency, through everything, he's texting us, "Hey, you guys good? You need me to send anything?" He's insane in a good way.
Insane in a good way.
Insane in the Hugh way.
Right?
We should get that on a shirt actually, like his face on it. Oh, I gotta send you this picture. We got a caricature done at a dispensary grand opening of the team of us that was there, and this guy did Hugh so dirty, it's not even funny.
No.
Oh, it's incredible. It's spot on, man. Let me see if I can text it to you right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll
You're
try
gonna
to
love
put it up on
this.
the podcast. That's great.
We're actually gonna get it framed and hang it in the Union Hall. Oh, where is it?
I don't know where he
Ah,
gets
I'll
the
find it at
energy.
some point.
What does he sleep for like an hour a night? And then that's like he's always going.
If the thing that keeps him going is Wendy's double stacks, right? So if Wendy's ever closed, we would be screwed.
Oh man. I don't go to Wendy's anymore.
Oh, man, I was there earlier. Hughes got me all back on my Wendy's kick. It's bad.
I got
All right,
diarrhea.
I just sent it to you. Let's
No,
see what we can do.
I got diarrhea from Wendy's and I can't eat there anymore.
See, well, maybe this is too much info for the podcast and the wide world that might be listening, but I got diarrhea every day, man.
It was so bad that I'm literally thinking about going to protest at the Wendy's that gave me the diarrhea. That's how bad.
What the hell did you eat?
I had the small burger and the small chicken sandwich.
Oh my god, man. That was like the last time I went to Taco Bell. Never again.
I was sick for like a week, and that was the only thing I had that day. And I would go to Wendy's all the time. I love Wendy's. I can't go there anymore after that. Like I literally want to go
Man.
protest out front. That's
Well,
how
we could make signs. We could drag Hugh out. We'll make it a whole thing. You know,
with a
wherever
big
you go,
sign.
we like to be.
A big sign that says Wendy's gave me diarrhea. I'm not ashamed.
I'm not ashamed either. I'll stand there right next to you with my soiled undies, wave them on a flagpole.
Eating Wendy's. I'll be protesting, and you can eat a burger while I'm protesting.
Yeah, go lefty. I support you and your diarrhea. Then shout out on this double stack and join me.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh man, so I'm sitting on my friend and his fiance's their balcony, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm pissing off the neighbors talking about diarrhea, but oh well.
Oh, it's nice and loud too, right? Good.
Oh dude, it echoes. There's a courtyard and everything.
Well, you cursed 3 times. You talked about diarrhea. I mean, it's like a shock jock show. It's like listening to Howard
Yeah.
Stern in the morning. So it's all right.
Oh, can I keep cursing or do I have to like actively censor myself? What are the rules? I've never done a podcast.
Well, we've interviewed you before. Did we ever ask you the 3 questions?
I don't think so. You just asked me what was going on. You were like, "What's going on at this event?" I'm like, "Oh shit, he's got the camera."
No, I had a couple of questions. All right, the first question that we ask our guests that I guess we didn't ask you because I don't remember getting an answer from you about this. When was the first time that you smoked cannabis?
Ooh, okay. So I was actually a real late bloomer to cannabis. I was 20, I think. I was either 19 or 20. I forget which. It was a New Year's Eve, and we had gotten an infused Tootsie Roll. And my friend at the time's little sister had a bunch of weed from college. So we packed a couple bowls, we ate this Tootsie Roll, and I was sitting there goofy as hell. We had a fire going, great night. And then I wasn't a regular cannabis user until maybe a year or two after that, when I had started to learn, like, oh, look, cannabis can actually help me with my near crippling anxiety and bring me to a functional level. It's not just a ha ha goofy plant, it's a medicine. So that was when I became like a regular user. But throughout like high school and everything, I had so much fucked up shit there I go cursing again. I had so much stuff going on at home that I didn't really have the opportunity to go and explore the world of cannabis.
Did you have support from your family when you made those decisions?
Yeah, so it gets even funnier actually. My dad back in the day was what was this, like early mid 80s somewhere? Or maybe it was I don't even know when. But he used to sell cannabis and I think it was Quaaludes he got caught with as well.
Oh,
So way back in the day, he caught a cannabis charge, and that kind of like shifted his life direction to only being able to, work certain jobs throughout that time period and all that stuff. And then later on in life, unfortunately, he had became an opiate addict through, the oxy push and the fentanyl push and all that stuff. So while he was dealing with that, I was starting to self medicate with cannabis. And my mom was actually a supporter and helped me like initially source vape cartridges and stuff like that until I really had my own kind of connections up and going.
okay. So yeah, your mom was helpful. Your dad was helpful. my dad,
Yeah, in a way.
my dad sold weed in Vietnam.
Oh shit. Well, is now a good time to tell you about the tours I did in Vietnam and oh man, the tunnels. The tunnels.
The tunnels.
But no shit, your dad sold weed in Vietnam?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and he got busted.
Ah, what
So
happened?
he was a POW in Vietnam.
Like POW, they arrested him on our side for selling dope, or POW, the fucking like North Vietnamese army captured
No,
him.
no, he was a POW in the American jail for smoking weed and selling weed in Vietnam
God.
for helping people with their PTSD.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
It's
I mean, it's
crazy,
not
right?
funny, but
It's the
it's
craziest
wild.
shit ever. I have his journal. I have his jailhouse journal, and sometimes I read from it. It's crazy. It's like very eye opening.
Yo, I'd love to see that one day. Next time I come across you,
Yeah, I read it once in a while. I was
that's got to be filled with some crazy memories.
what? The host is in another meeting. What the hell? I gave you the right. Hold on. Hold on. What's going on here? The host is in another meeting. No, no, no. I'm in this meeting. Shit. What did I give out the wrong address? It's impossible. I gave you the right address. You found us.
Yeah, well, the first one you sent me, I think, was a different one, but
Oh
the second one you sent me was this one, the right one.
shit. Let's see. Let me check the event. Maybe I put it wrong on the event too. Whoops. Whoops. No, that's it. Oh shit. It is wrong. Fuck. It's wrong. That's funny. It's the wrong one. I don't know how that.
Ha! Got too high, sent out the wrong address.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Smoke more.
All right, let me fix that. Shit, that was bad. Oh, no wonder no one's on here. I'm like, we're supposed to have Jim Miller on here with us too.
Oh, I thought it was just because you wanted to have a private conversation between us.
Well, I do, but I want to do it like Johnny Carson style, because like we're gonna have a bunch of people on for 710 for Cannabis Patient Awareness Day. So if you ever
Hell
watch
yeah.
Johnny Carson, he'd have a bunch of guests on, and he would talk to one guest for like 15 minutes, and then they would stay on the show, and they would just move down the couch, and then the next guest would sit next to him and talk, but they'd all still interact, but they would just move down the couch. You know what
I
I'm saying?
got you. Kind of
Yeah,
like a rotating panel of I get what you're saying.
So that was kind of like that. So we're kind of trying to do that and set something like that up. But I've never had more than a few people on a Zoom call before. So, you know, trying to have a bunch of people on a Zoom call, it's new to me. I'm not sure how we can do it, but we'll have to try it. We got to practice it before July 10th. But anyway, getting back to the questions.
Ooh.
My second question is, what's your favorite munchie food?
Oh man, my favorite. All right, my favorite munchie food rotates, but at the moment, I got a real big sweet tooth all the time. But Entenmann's chocolate frosted donuts, the full size ones specifically, because the small ones, I think the dough consistency is like different.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh. Or you take some candy cakes and you throw them in the fridge for 2 hours or so and get them nice and cold, like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Ah, that's the kind of munchie food I like.
Oh,
That's
I love the Entenmann cakes, like the chocolate cake with chocolate icing.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Oh
could eat that
man,
all day.
I'm such a like cake, cookie, dessert kind of person.
And what was your second favorite munchie food? You had a couple. You said it changes.
Ooh. All right, so Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies are
Oh,
up there.
oh, come
I
on.
used to like go through sleeves of those. Like the family size package would last 2 days tops. I had to cut that one out. And then lately, since it's warm out, I'm getting big on ice cream again. My friends are actually bringing me back a white chocolate raspberry shake.
What about savory food? What's your favorite like savory for like dinner or lunch?
Chinese food all day, every day, or any
Mm.
kind of like Asian, Eastern style food, whether it's Korean food,
Mhm.
Japanese food, all
Nice.
of it. I love the flavor profiles. You can
Yeah.
get anything from like something really salty to something a little bit more salty and sweet together. You can do hot pots, sushi rolls. I could live off of that entire region of the world's food, the Vietnamese food, pho, all of that. The
You,
weirder the ingredients, throw it in. Let me have it.
you go for the peanut sauce, right?
Oh, it's so good,
I
man.
know.
It's so good.
Yeah, there's a guy up in Pompton Lakes that makes a garlic chicken, Korean guy. The
Ooh.
best garlic chicken I ever had in my life. If you're ever in Pompton Lakes, oh man, it's so good.
Well, it sounds like you're gonna have to give me a reason to go to Pompton Lakes.
Oh man. Um, my third question is, what do you tell somebody when they're down and out? A friend of yours is down on his luck. Um, a true leave worker who just lost their job. How do you cheer
Oh
them up?
man,
What would you tell them to cheer them up to make them feel a little better in life? Like you have a
true
life's
leave
gem.
worker.
Anyone who's down on their luck right now.
Well, like, don't get me wrong. If it was one of my close friends, then I'd be, kicking him into the grass and we'd be beating on him. Hugh especially. Kick him while he's down. But something I would say to anybody who's feeling down and out is I've been there. I know how deep it goes and what it's like to really hit rock bottom and then find something below that and just keep surprising yourself with it. And with as many lows as there are, if you're really willing to put in the time and work for yourself, and if you really believe that you're worth it and you are worth it no matter who you are, then you can turn it around and you can suddenly it's 5 years down the line. And you're like, oh my God, I should have made a 5 year plan. I'm still alive. You can do that. And eventually it does get better, but you do have to put in the work to do it. And I like to encourage people that just put in that work. Take the time, look at yourself, learn about things that are bringing you down, things you need to change in your life, and do it. Change it. Put the work in. I'm going with that. That's what I would go with. Now, if it was a true leave worker who just lost their job, I would tell them, look, you didn't hear it from me, but if you mix some gasoline and we're not going to go any further.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on up there. I have questions about the the government was about to go in there and do some testing on their keef room, do some like major testing to see what happened and how the levels were. And so,
Mhm.
because they're leaving, they're not going to do that test now because they can't recreate the same problems.
Yeah, you can't recreate that environment if you're not doing mass production, cultivating and grinding and pre-roll stuffing, whatever they were doing with all the with that room that's such full of pollen. But there was that woman up in Massachusetts, I think it was, who passed away from too much keef inhalation. So to me, that would say, what are you trying to hide? Why don't you want people to come in and see that pollen room?
Well, their lawyers probably told them to cut and run because nothing good's going to come out of that. It's just going to help their lawsuit. So the lawyers are like, "Yep, cut and run."
Yeah, sounds like a couple companies we know, I'm sure.
Yeah. How do other how does Cureleaf and other places deal with the keef room?
So I can't speak too much on like what Curely specifically does because I haven't been in any of their rooms. From what I'm told by the workers, they do have like the option to be given not even like N95 masks, but like those surgical masks, those little 3-ply ones.
Right.
So at least they're providing them with that. But at the other places, I know up at Ascend Wellness, they were looking for full respirators in their pollen. I know that's something that they wanted to see in their contract. So it's more of a concern for these people who are actually in those rooms breathing that dust every day. They're developing allergies. You see, they're getting sick sometimes. We were in contact with a worker, and I'll leave the facility unnamed, but she had to leave work early, if not once, twice, because she showed us pictures of the rashes she was breaking out in just from being in the pollen rooms.
Wow.
It's, it's the conditions in those cultivation facilities. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's farm work being done inside of a warehouse. So yes, you have all these like, oh, haha, it's the pot kids. They're growing weed. Yes, there is, a little bit of that fun factor, but they're really working under these very industrial conditions.
Yeah, this is not like mom and pop farming. This is like industrial farming, and dust is flying.
Yeah, yeah, dust is flying, emergency exits are being blocked, all kinds of stories all day long.
There's mold, but of course you're allowed to
Mold,
remediate the
powdery
mold.
mildew, mites. One company back in January, they killed their entire stock of mom plants because the company wouldn't listen to the growers on the ground. The growers on the ground are, saying, "Hey, there's issues," and the companies are not fixing it, and that's how they lose whole stocks.
And what happened?
So their mom plants, the ones that they use to like make their clones and everything,
Yeah.
they got infested with one of the mites. I don't recall which kind, and it just spread throughout the entire room and killed their entire stock of mom plants. They had to have another facility regrow them for them.
Wow. Wow. That's a big hit.
Yeah, and the growers are never happy about that. They love their plants. They love what they do. They are very passionate about what they do in that plant. But to not be given the support to properly take care of them down the line, all that hurts is the medical patients and the adult rec users, as well as the reputation of those growers just for working at that company.
Oh my God. I'm looking at this picture of a Hugh. Come on.
Come on, tell me it's not spot on though.
That's terrible. No.
It's perfect.
No. It's not even Hugh.
Oh, that's exactly what Hugh looks like when he's laughing and goofy.
No.
He's like the little Disney kind of pig thing. I see you imagining it. I hope he's watching this somewhere.
That's not Hugh. That's pretty funny.
It's fucking great. We're gonna have it framed and we're gonna hang it.
Wow. Yeah, so True Leave is cutting and running. They're leaving town. And
Yeah, just
come to
I'm
Jersey.
sorry.
Come on down to Jersey. We're waiting for you here. We need some overpriced shit weed down here.
What did you just give me? Ranch what? Ew. But I'm gonna try it. Hold on. I'm sorry, Lefty. I'm trying ranch ice cream.
Ranch ice
Oh,
cream?
ew. That's fucking disgusting.
Your fucking raspberry shake.
I'm glad I tried it,
I love
but
it.
ew.
Th-
My friend says so, left.
Hi, there's mayonnaise in that ice cream?
Brady off.
Yeah, somebody's mayonnaise might be in there.
Oh,
That was very disgusting. Why would they give that to me?
I used to watch the Iron Chef, and that one Japanese chef made fish ice cream.
Oh, Iron Chef Morimoto.
Yes, he made fish ice cream.
Oh, he's a legend, man.
He is.
I've had a couple like hyper-focused depression shows over the past couple summers or whatever. Iron Chef was one of them, and watching Iron Chef Morimoto just crush the competition every time, I love it.
He was the best.
Sorry, I'm gonna be coughing in your ear. I'm smoking this blunt now.
And Bobby Flay used to get beat all the time. I used to love watching him get beat.
There's nothing better than getting high and watching the Food Network.
Oh, that's a great show. I learned a lot from watching that channel. A lot of cooking. I love to cook, and I learned a lot of tricks.
What's the craziest trick you've picked up?
The one hack that I really like is the marinara sauce. And Alton Brown took marinara sauce to another level. So what he did was he added mirepoix to his marinara. And it's roasted mirepoix. So you roast it in the oven first for like a half hour, gets a nice color on the mirepoix, and then you grind it up and and you also get the plum tomatoes. You roast some plum tomatoes too. Roast them all. Put color on them. And then you mix them in with the tomato sauce that you had separated. And it makes such a difference when you put mirepoix into your marinara. You know what I mean?
Mr. Alton Brown, this blunt hit is for you.
Yeah, Alton Brown is amazing, and you would never think he'd have some kind of crazy hack like that. But I tell you what, if you have marinara sauce and you want to bump it up to the next level, just roast some mirepoix and add it to your marinara sauce. That's it. Very simple. That's all.
I'm stealing your
onion.
ideas.
Yeah, it's onion, celery, and carrot.
Nice. Very nice.
It thickens it. It gives it a super depth of flavor, like ridiculous. It's the best thing ever.
You know what? I just thought of a question for you. So, if your dad got caught selling weed in Vietnam, charged, POW, all that, was he supportive of you getting involved with marijuana at first, or was he opposed because he was like, "You're gonna get fucking arrested"?
No, my dad left when I was like 3 or 4.
Ah, shit.
He left. So he wasn't around. And I met him when I was around 25, 26, 24, I don't know. And I met him and I smoked a joint with him, and that was cool. But no, we didn't really have a relationship like that. I just happened to have his journal here, right here. Well, not here. I have his actually have his knife here, his jungle knife, which is pretty cool. Oh, who's here?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I almost got in trouble one time because I accidentally brought my knife into a cultivation facility.
Oh, no.
And oh yeah, the manager's all freaking out about it. and like tried to talk to Hugh like she was the principal, and he was like, I don't care, and went back to talking to the workers.
Hey, Mikey.
Yo, what up?
Mikey, you know Jake, I believe, right? You guys know each other.
Yo,
Yeah.
Jake,
so.
what's up?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
from UFC.
wait,
Oh, yeah.
wait, oh, fuck, I dropped it, bro.
How's it hanging?
Oh, see, you can see my face now.
Oh, there he is. Hey,
Yep,
there he is.
yep, I remember you. Yep.
Without the hat, you don't have your hat on.
It's inside.
Yeah, that dope black cowboy
Yo,
hat.
I love that hat.
Thank you,
Rest
thank
on the
you.
floor, yeah.
I decided one day I want to wear a fucking cowboy hat, and I just went for it.
That's how you do that.
Yeah, you just do it. You just start doing it, and you set a trend.
Make it a thing.
It's a new trend.
Exactly.
And as long as you believe in that hat, others will believe in it.
Exactly.
That hat has like an aura in itself. I mean, literally.
You know, a couple dispensary workers keep calling me like, "Yo, you look like a bounty hunter." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to get your shitty bosses."
Yeah,
So how you guys doing?
yeah, I'm doing all right. In a little pain, but you know.
You know, I can join. I wanted to join, but I got to go in like 20 minutes. But
Oh, well, while both of you are here, you want me to tell you about the event that we're trying to do at the Union Hall that we'd like you guys to come out for?
Yes.
yeah, please.
So it's going to be August 19th. It's a Saturday from 12 to 6.
Or do like
And
that.
we're essentially doing like the cannabis community. We want to bring everybody together. So the workers that we represent, whether they're involved with the legacy stuff or not, or charity stuff or not, activism stuff, we want to invite everybody out, whether we represent them or not. So we're gonna put up flags in dispensaries. They're gonna come out. We want to invite like you guys, the activists, the OGs, the ones who have been out there. We would like to do it so that upon entrance, if you're a worker, you get in for free because worker focus is the whole goal. But if you're just a random member of the public, we would like to charge a $5 donation to either Sativa Cross or the NJ Coalition for Medical Marijuana. I always mess up their acronym, I feel like.
The coalition.
Very cool.
Yeah, the coalition.
That's awesome.
And
Thank you.
we have a couple speakers lined up who are either workers in the industry or people in the industry themselves that we're hoping will just be able to speak, do a panel. We're going to have a couple legacy vendors out as well. We're going to invite them to the Union Hall to do their thing. One guy's going to bring a food truck for some non-infused food. And we're going to have some ice cream options as well, which are going to be awesome. This guy makes killer ice cream. And we just want to bring the whole community together. We invited out the CRC commissioners. We feel it's important that they come out and see, you know, the actual community of what they're supposed to represent.
Yeah, word.
That's the real short version.
It sounds amazing.
We want it to be, you know, like a recurring cannabis community thing because this is all community. There's a bunch of different sides to it that are all like kind of intermingling with each other. Well, let's just do it in one big thing. Come together.
Yeah, Saturdays, if it's worker friendly, Saturday is the day of the week to do that. That's perfect for that.
Yeah, and if you guys want to bring out Bong Holio,
I love when that option always arises. I always have that. We always have that option on hand.
Bong Holio is
Oh,
a great party thing. Party. What do you call it? A party favor? Party.
Party favorite.
What do you call it? Party favorite? Because you can hit Bong Holio. You can hit him.
wait, you can smoke out of Bong Holio?
Yeah, you didn't know that,
Yeah, and the
I didn't
baby,
know that.
dude.
and the baby,
Really?
Game changer.
Yeah.
It changes everything.
and the baby
That's
has
awesome.
a water chamber inside of it, and it only stays level when the baby's held at the proper angle, like the 45-degree, like cradle, like mother cradling the baby angle. So the bong hits best when the baby's held right. So
Aw.
it kind of teaches moms who are expecting newborns how to put the needs of the baby first before they then can properly medicate. So it's actually a kind of a tool in itself. But yeah, no, the baby and Bong Holio are both fully functional.
See, that's awesome. I didn't know that. And then Bongholio was I knew about Bongholio before I knew about like Sativa Cross and everything. A video of Bongholio at Brick Township showed up on one of my video feeds one night while I was still working at a smoke shop. I was like, that's hilarious. Whoa and
That was,
behold, there's a whole organization behind it.
yes, we went to we were with Lefty was there that night. We both went there together. That was a shit show. They were banning. That was when there was a possibility of a dispensary opening up in Ocean County, which at the time, I mean, I think now there's at least one in Ocean County. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't been following that. But at the time, this proposal site was going to be the first dispensary. So it was actually wild going to Brick. All the towns that we've gone to with all the pushback and everything, Brick had like an energy of its own with the residents who they just felt like they were violated, that there would be a dispensary within a certain, mileage from their home. And they thought it would devalue their property. And those were the things that they were really fighting. It kind of didn't really have anything to do about cannabis, but what was wild about it was that was the target. Like that was what people used. Like the residents were saying crazy stuff.
The smell. Lost your audio.
He's gone.
Lost your audio.
We lost him, Jim.
We lost your audio. I think you lost your audio. I don't think you can hear us.
I lost my mind.
Is he muted here? No.
I don't know.
He's still talking.
It had kind of all fallen through.
There you go.
Oh, now he's back.
Oh, you lost me for a second?
Lost you for a minute there.
I was getting a phone call that I hit decline, so it should have ended it soon, but
Oh, okay.
I'm doing this and then I'll get to that after I'm done. One thing at a time.
But yeah.
So how'd you guys meet each other?
Well, we met at court date actually.
Court. Trenton.
Yeah, in Trenton during Weedman stuff. And then Lefty was doing the INE tour in 2018 was when he first started doing it. And I was watching his shit and I was like, wow, this is something special, especially during that time when there was about to be a blanket ban across the entire state, So I certainly wanted to come out and show support. I never wanted to speak. That was never the plan for me. But I wanted to at least sit with people, patients, people had MS, cancer, everybody had a story, and that they'd organize that. And I thought that was the coolest shit ever. So, so I wound up taking part without really even realizing I was going to take part. Because then one night in Sayreville, Mayor Reed spoke up, who was paid by the group NJ Ramp, and that we could go in down a million roads after that or whatever, and how deep that whole thing is or whatever. But anyway, long story short or whatever, I wound up speaking out, and my story is I got off opiates using cannabis, and I never planned to talk about it. But once I did, I started realizing that the guilt and the shame that I was feeling was, other people saw it as like strength and bravery and stuff. So I continued doing the activism with Lefty, going around to towns all over the state, trying to hit as many as we could. During 2019, once it really was going nuts, there was like 3, 4, 5 a week, and we could only get to so many. And there was a couple of weeks where we were doing 3, and we were powerhouse. We powerhoused that entire year of 2019.
Nice.
So
just
many
fighting
towns
back
banning
all these ignorant towns. And the timing couldn't have been better because we knew what they were going to do. And that was part of the misery of talking about like all the suffering of what we all went through. I wound up giving them my blood, sweat, and tears. Jeff, who passed, our best friend, he didn't have to do any of this activism. He could have been at home with his family, he could have spent the last year or two with his family and not worrying about this, but it kept him going to fight back and try to make it easier for the next people, you know? So that's how me and Lefty met.
Yeah, and the more they banned it, the more we would come out with Bongholio would come out for like a nuclear option when they were definitely going to ban it. We would try to reason with these towns first. We would try to talk to them and tell them our stories. And then when that didn't work, well, yeah, then Bongholio came out and the song came out. The song that
Because at that point, if you know they're gonna, just say no matter what, you might as well
it's a joke.
get a good.
At that point, it's a joke. So if they're gonna make it a joke, we'll make it a better joke.
Yeah.
And we'll laugh about the pain and suffering that you watch when you see it up close. That's what got Jeff through. He laughed about his cancer. He had to, he fought it hard. He lost his life to cancer, but he lost it on his own terms. It was the only winning way for him to take the power back. And that nuclear option of bringing Bongholio out was a version of taking the power back and slamming and hammering these councils, these ignorant, dumb councils who had all these agendas that were always going to stomp and hurt patients.
Hey, Jim.
Hey. Yeah, I didn't get in before I gave up hope, but I checked back to see if anything was going on.
I'm glad you told me. I sent the wrong link out, like a stoner, a true stoner. I sent the wrong link to everybody, except Jake.
Yeah, somehow I got the right one. Thank you. I'm glad that you love me.
Yeah, don't worry. One day you'll be one of us.
So funny.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
We were just talking about Jeff and how he was driven at the end of his life to, instead of sitting home in the peace and solace of his home, he would come out and fight.
Yeah.
Ignorant bastards. And I love that. I can't tell you, I never seen nothing like it. Well, I did see.
Oh, sure you have.
With Cheryl and with Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like what I've always said, if there was ever going to be a Cheryl Miller award, it would be for Jeff. And, quite possibly you, Lefty. Somebody's got to recognize that, you're not doing this for anything but the right reasons, and you're more driven than the rest of us. So I know you can't pat yourself on the back, but I can now and then. And that's, it's a rare quality. And then, I know Mikey is in this boat as well. And Jake, you're with some rare company right now, I gotta say, and
yeah,
and
I feel it.
I'm guessing that maybe you might. I'm hoping some of what I just described rubs off on other people. Well, it's a close little meet. I can say that, having been on Facebook for like 15 years, I've never had a birthday fundraiser, and I looked, and I'm going to be 71 on the 20th, and it's like, hey, have a fundraiser. Wow, I don't know. And then it struck me, well, I assume it's for like nonprofits, otherwise it'd be totally, people be scamming all over the place, So I looked at it and I thought, well, wait a second. Lefty and Steve Cross, went through a lot to become a 501c3. And although I am a co-founder and current board member of the Coalition for Medical Marijuana in New Jersey, they're not, as I put it on the fundraiser, Lefty, Sativa Cross does not impose limits on themselves as other organizations do. You can go so far. And when you're a nonprofit, you can go so far. But the Sativa Cross blends the principle of I'd rather beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. Right? Yeah. Okay.
That's the way to do it, though.
Okay, but
if you ask certain questions to get something important done, you're going to get a no.
But
so
see,
you might as well just do it and get the results.
Yeah.
Well, Lefty's been not recently, but a pet project of mine back in the day, because I was really hoping he could achieve what he has, cross what he has with knowing where there is a line that you go up to, and if you go over, you get more backlash than benefit. And it's been interesting watching him do that. And I knew when I saw him walking into a town council meeting in a trench coat and a tie. I don't know if it was a jacket on. It looked like Wyatt Earp with a tie or something, but it was what I was saying. It's like Barney Frank used to say back in the day, he was an openly gay congressman who was medical marijuana's biggest supporter. And at a particular conference I went to, and I got to know him pretty good, actually. He said to everybody, listen, for gay rights, what you don't want to do is be going out in multicolored jock straps to make a point. And it stuck with me. There's things that open the door. And then there's a way to be when you get through the door. It's not the same knock that it takes to force your way in. And when you're there, know where that happy median is. And I've seen Mikey and Lefty do that both at town hall meetings. I've been very impressed. So anyway, I thought, my own coalition, they're too much ready to support whatever it is Senate President Nick Scutari will do, and saying we don't want to piss him off. And I'm saying, no, you don't want to disappoint him. There's a difference. Politicians, they don't get pissed off like the rest of us. They can't. They run for, come on, they don't. They know how to deal with adversity, and to just let status quo go on after 2 years of not getting a hearing for 2 bills because of him and President Sweeney before him. Now it's him. He needs to be pushed, and Sativa Cross will do that, where the Coalition for Medical Marijuana will not. So I had my first birthday Facebook fundraiser for Sativa Cross, and I'm having a trouble pushing the button to share it on the coalition, because I don't want anybody to think it's like some sort of statement. And I'm hearing myself say that to you right now, thinking as soon as I'm off, I'm pushing that button, because that's not my style. Never was. I can't be antithetical to what I just described. That would make no sense. So if I have to beg for forgiveness, if it sounds like I was making a point, I'm not. But I want to see some donations. And you got $190 right now. I don't know how I don't know how it works out in the end, when you get it, what happened. You'll figure it out, I'm sure. But anyway, I just wanted to say that while it's a little tight, close-knit group here at the moment.
Oh, Jim, thank you. When I saw that, I was like, I almost fell off my chair. Thank you so much. That really means a lot.
But it makes sense, just like I described it. It's exactly makes sense. And I'm not doing it to make a point with the coalition. I hope it does. And anyway, that point's going to be made on the 24th. Sorry.
Happy early birthday.
Oh, I appreciate that. 24th, there's Hetty, New Jersey's homegrowing seminar, and Sativa Cross is represented well with Chris, and Ken Wolski for the coalition, and Evan Nissan from National Normal, who's from New Jersey. And I find it interesting because I'm not sure if anybody's going to be excited to see me there. Right off, it's about home grow, cannabis home grow. Is that for patients or is that for adult consumers? It's not clear. On purpose, that's what's hurting patients. I'm not the one that's like, it's not a 2-tier thing. It's 2 separate things. 5 Republican co-sponsors on a patients only bill, 1 Republican co-sponsor on a bill that includes both. I'm an advocate, but I'm also in effect a lobbyist who's learned from 30 freaking years of being an advocate, and I'm not always right. And that's how I know when I am right, because I recognize when I'm not. I don't defend what I do for the sake of defending. And it's going to be fun at that seminar because there may well be legislators there. There's going to be, I don't know who's going to be there, but I do know that I'm going to take part. I don't have to be a speaker to take part. I have standing. And it's not going to be about particulars, but right now I got to say that when we wanted to get legalization passed, needed to get 21 votes in a 40 member Senate, and we could get close, but it didn't look like it was going to happen. And then when it really got down to it, patient improvements to the patient's bill, which would have been a standalone bill, were coupled with trying to get legalization, 20 votes in the Senate. And it didn't happen. After 6 months, the guy doing the work, Fuquan Muzan, got 19. He got up to 19, but it's whack-a-mole. And the thing is, you get that one vote here, you lose one there, because it's the behind the scenes stuff we don't really know about. And that goes on. So you couldn't uncouple it right after that, though. It took 6 more months to uncouple it and get a bill, and it just law. Sorry, I don't want to call it just law. Jake's Law, named after little Jake Honig, who died, cancer patient, child, and that's who you name a bill after. And it passed right away. So now there's a patients only bill and a bill that includes patients and adults. And it's that all over again. 3 years later, only the stakes are much higher. And I'm the one going against my own coalition's grain, saying what needs to happen is adults need to all forcefully lobby for patients' right to home grow, because they're not going to get a bill heard because Nick Scutari is not going to bend on that. But they could help back him into a corner where he let go of the rope on patients in a very tightly controlled thing, as he personally told Lefty, or we at least get a hearing. So when the hearings have been blocked for 2 years, and with this year being the end of our legislative session at the end of the year, we need to have a hearing. Now, having a hearing on the patient-only bill, 3 out of 4 points made there directly apply to adults as well. The arguments are made in public. People agree with them or they disagree with them, but it gives them something to point to and get a hearing at the beginning of next session. See, that's the way it'll work. And I'm expressing that through talking with legislators, not lobbyists and not other advocates. I make it a point to talk to legislators who will point to me. Lefty and I went to Republican Senator Dewar's fundraiser to be able to talk to him after he co-sponsored this bill. And so I'm going to enjoy that very much on the 24th. I don't know how welcome I'm going to be at certain functions after that, but yeah, 5 Republican co-sponsors for patients only. One of them transferred her, and they all know, and for 80% aren't. That means that bill's not going to get a hearing. But you got to know when to push the wedge through the door. And in this case, it's just like it was for legalization. Came for patients first, came to adults later. What about home grow? Why do I got to break the news? It's going to be the same way, whether we like it or not. So if we accepted that as adults, and I don't get a lot of favor for expressing that, so I'm risking it in a 3 other person group here, knowing 2 out of 3 like I do. Well, why not? It should be everybody at the same time, man. Do I really fucking need to hear that after 30
No
years?
mens rea. No mens rea. Yeah, I get it. I know. Yes, we're fighting over crumbs.
But it has to happen for this hearing. At least has to happen this year. If I honestly, if I can't see a hearing for this year, I may just give up entirely. I have to have an end of the road.
No,
I'm going to celebrate my 71st birthday. I don't want to do this.
you're not gonna do that, Jim. You're gonna see
You know it
home
and
grow.
I know it, but
What you're gonna, yeah, I know, but
But
you're gonna see home grow.
You're tireless, Jim.
This is tragic.
oh,
will
I'm gonna
come.
see it, but I don't want to be hiding it from anybody. You don't mind if I have a beer, do you? Because I've already had a couple. And I don't mean to bring bad juju onto a meeting like this,
No,
but
there's no bad juju ever with Jim Miller in the house.
No,
Are you
no.
kidding me?
There's no
beer
bad
last night.
juju at all. That's what the weed's for.
Miller Light, but
Miller for Miller.
yeah. Well, here normally, what would happen would be I'd be at a meeting, and
And you do that.
And you'd lose video.
what's up, guys?
Privacy rights. Privacy rights.
I got a good picture of me at a court hearing because I was looking at my phone to see the time as I was almost stopped at a red light. And I got pulled over by Manchester Township Police who saw that. I explained what I was doing. I'm looking at it. I was actually just coming to a stop. You were using a handheld device while operating motor vehicle. It's against the law. To look at my clock wasn't right. I didn't want to figure out what time it was and do the math. I did that. But anyway, I had to go to court, and during the pandemic, I couldn't do the whole, no, I'm going to court on this, because that defies the and what do you call it? The intention of the law, the spirit of the law. It's actually what it would be called. It violates the intent and spirit of the law for whatever other purpose. And but I couldn't do it. So I went to the court meeting, and I had a nice shirt on, and I had jeans and a beer. And it was just a really good picture of me talking to a judge while I got my hand on a beer bottle. And here's I'm smoking a bowl. And I'm doing the same thing I did then while I'm in the waiting room, Anyway.
Virtual court.
Yeah.
Hey.
So listen though.
Zoom court was fun.
Yeah, not to I don't want to monopolize here, but I know I'm trying. But I keep going back to what this could be the root of, the very root of. I talk about with Paul, with people about the Association for Reform Organizations listserv, I think it was called, basically an email thing with two people from all groups that would be deemed representational, and that was a lot. So it's Ken and me from the coalition. It was nationwide. The best participants in the nation for cannabis issues were on that. I mean, all the OGs that there were on that. So it was, you could just see what other people were throwing out, and somebody would reply. This was pre-Facebook, but it's the same thing that goes on Facebook without the bullshit of Facebook. That could happen here for medical cannabis patients in states where you're doing good, you join to give your advice to others. In states that are lagging behind, you have people to talk to. Try to look up what's going on in other states anywhere on the internet. It's really hard to get a grip. So the idea of a listserv for this purpose, in other words, part of this being keeping an eye on that it would be a good way to start. It's almost what we're doing, because this was going on without Facebook. And I'm kind of seeing that there could be just sort of a Zoom meeting once a week, could have been with the Association of Reform Organizations if this existed, that instead of just throwing something out, you could have something you want to talk to people. Okay, well, once a week you go there, and other people will be there, and you just start talking like this, but with a purpose, and this is with a purpose as well. I don't know. I'm just seeing this could actually lead to something that would be better than that, because the technology is totally different than it was. This would be more of the 90s and through 2005 or something, maybe. So I appreciate you staying with it.
Technology has really, excuse me, technology has really, changed the game when it comes to organizing a community.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's instant communication now instead of having to plan a time or date every week. It's I
yeah,
can send a text message and I know you'll see it and it'll get back to me before anything else.
yeah.
That's why towns are trying to stop those pop-up parties that are happening all along the shore.
What's
Yeah,
that?
well,
They
that's
organize
the
it
area.
online.
Describe one so I make sure I know what you're
Well, the
talking about.
pop-up party is like people on Instagram. They all decide that they're going to meet in like Long Branch or Seaside or Point Pleasant Beach.
Like,
They're all-
okay, seaside at a place on the boardwalk at a
No,
at a club.
it's just
Just
a mass meeting in public space. It's usually on the beach. There's some videos on YouTube of like
that's interesting. Yeah, that's
couple
wow.
of things that went
Kind of
correct,
similar. Yeah,
But
there's.
but
Where
what's
are you from,
interesting?
Mike?
Where am I from?
Yeah.
Actually, I grew up in Ocean County, Point Pleasant Beach. So I lived,
Oh shit.
yeah. So as I grew up or whatever, and I lived kind of all around Ocean County, a little bit in Monmouth or whatever. Now I live in South Amboy. But yeah, so
You're
the
10
shore,
minutes from me, man. I'm over in Mattawa.
oh, no doubt,
Dude, we probably go to some of the same pop-up stuff.
probably. But what's
Um,
interesting is a lot of these towns now are like I know Point Pleasant Beach, Paul Kinitra, the new mayor who knocked off Mayor Reed. um, he put an ordinance out, like the council, they all voted on an ordinance to like prohibit any sort of pop up. So they essentially could go after like the event organizer kind of thing.
What's
How
the
do you feel?
difference? What's the difference between the actual difference? Never mind how people got there.
Well,
Between a pop up and a bunch of people in the same
that's what I
place.
was about to ask you, Jim, because as you're catching up to speed with the whole how this all works with this pop up like stuff on social media or whatever. What's the difference between that and a social gathering that has the elements of a protest?
Yeah,
No difference to me.
no, it really isn't.
As,
Yeah,
as these towns start making these ordinances, just like all these other ordinances that infringes on our freedoms and our rights. And it's me and Lefty have these conversations all the time about all these laws that are not being tested and stuff. And as every year goes on, all of our rights are being taken away one by one, being plucked one by one. Where's our freedom? Where's our freedom? It's flying away like a bird. And the bird's going to die at some point soon. And we're all going to die with those freedoms that we will lose in the process.
Well, and while that's going on though, it's while somebody's trying to draw dividing lines, it's fun to be able to show where the dividing line is wrong, like exactly what you were just talking about. But okay, you can't hand out leaflets on the boardwalk. You know what you can do? You can hand out something that's business card sized. There's a limit because they don't want people to try. Here, let me give you my card. Oh, it's illegal on the boardwalk.
Right.
So you're allowed, but it doesn't have to be a business card. It can be a leaflet the size of a business card, and you can basically alerting now that you can have a website instead of having it explain everything. You can simply have a URL here, go here, and here's why. And
I think
I found that like a way to, I don't know.
I just wish authority would be more inviting to these scenarios or whatever, as opposed to putting up fences or roadblocks. And speaking of fences, like Lefty had mentioned with the cleanup that you guys were doing, to keep people out of that area, that they're planning on putting up fences as opposed to garbage cans. But garbage cans, if people are going to be there, be inviting. Have the response be inviting, because if people are going to be there and they're going to you're going to coexist with people. When people with these we're watching people with their color of law have these extensions of authority that they don't even have, and they make these bad laws, and we're the ones who are going to suffer from it. And I just don't agree with a lot of the response to things. It should be more inviting. It shouldn't be
Oh, yeah,
so
it should be.
pushback.
But here's something I'm learning is if it was more inviting to somebody, that person would be saying, I wasn't really right with my attitude in the beginning, so this is
Sure.
more inviting. So what it means, it involves somebody realizing they might have drifted, and there's just a lot of people that can't do that.
Yeah,
That's
just like the drug policy.
exactly.
If drugs were legal, let's just say, right, hypothetically, where does a person at some point with the depth of their shame and all of the shit that they're dealing with, if it's legal and they know that it's okay, you can do it, the depth of where they'll hit may be raised significantly if the response of the public and their peers and others and the community have a more inviting, meet you where you're at kind of a response. And we haven't seen that. We're never going to see that again, unfortunately, because now in with how everybody communicates in social media, everybody feels incredibly more connected, and they're significantly more disconnected. So that wild, like throwing one thing to each end of the spectrum, puts them in
I
a
dropped
place
something.
that is very different than what we used to grow up and would be kind to one another because you were next to them and you would see them and you would hear them because they were next to you.
Well,
Not through this version, like, and it's great what we're doing now. We wouldn't be able to do what we're doing now.
Lefty, where was the
Being at
last?
home.
Where was the
Technology.
last? Where was that last? Because it's just what you're saying. What I witnessed with that last cleanup I saw last week, where you were giving away joints for bags of. What was the deal with that? You brought back a bag, you got a joint. What the
Joints
hell
for
was that?
junk, bones for basura,
Bones for basura.
um, reefer
Porter
for
basura.
reefer for rubbish, doinks for doinks for dabs.
Yeah. You took advantage of the legalization of cannabis in New Jersey and the ability of one adult to give another a legal product to say, you come pick up some garbage and we're going to give you a gift. And it was seriously an advocating milestone for me. I couldn't believe how well that worked. And it makes a point that Mikey was just saying, it doesn't, if they could just see it, and these are people who consume cannabis, who are willing to share it with others for helping clean up an area that needs to be cleaned up that the public uses. Where the township, meaning the local government, isn't getting to it. And it's not violating a law to do something they should be taken care of. And I don't know where that was, but what a view. It looked like a wonderful place to just go hang out, down that path or whatever.
Beautiful.
That video, like the video with the police interaction.
Oh, that was great.
That's an incredible video, especially for somebody living in another state where they don't even have anything close to legalization yet. Or seeing that police interaction, how the dialogue goes with the community involving themselves in some sort of efforts like that or whatever. If you were seeing that from some certain other states, I would be blown away. I'd be like, that's New Jersey?
That's what a listserv thing. That's what a listserv thing. This is what I'm saying. If we could come together and I'm always looking from the medical point of view, because adults can watch out for their own selves. Patients need extra help, is why I become a specialist.
That's right.
I will never shy away from that. And I don't care what adults think, because it's like, the smart thing to do is to usher the patients in the door. And it's just like Bob Barr said, not Bill Barr, Bob Barr, the guy that my late wife helped kick out of Congress. It's right that if you do things for medical patients, the next thing you know, it'll be done for everybody. And I feel like that Tim Meadows, the ladies' man on Saturday Night Live, going, yeah, you say that like it's a bad thing. It's yes. Senator James Holsapple, my own senator, was right when he said the next thing you know, it's going to be legal for everybody. What he didn't say is the route that it would take to be that way, which is, look, none of the stuff they said about medical marijuana being legalized happened. None of the bad stuff happened. None. Actually, the bad stuff is they didn't go far enough in how to fix it. So if none of the bad stuff happened to patients, maybe none of the bad stuff's going to happen to the adult population either. You know, it's sort of, it's what patients open the door and adults do walk through. So yeah, but it's not like a tail on a kite, you know, where the kite, therefore it follows it. What it does is exposes the lies. It gives real world situations when it's legal that this guy didn't fall. First time I saw legal marijuana was in California in 2006 at a Patients at a Time conference, or a normal conference, maybe a normal. And I went with Gary Stork to a dispensary. He has a California ID that would allow him to do that. Didn't look like a dispensary. I had to stay outside. There's people hanging around. I've never been in San Francisco. You know, I'm just like waiting for him to come out, not in a hurry. And there's people it's San Francisco, and they're not just rushing by, and it's not like they're crowd. There's a shoe store right next to it. I mean, I could go to buy me some Busted Brown shoes if I wanted while I was waiting. And no, it didn't look like a dispensary. So I started looking up like this. And as soon as I did, other people started looking up. And there's maybe 12 or 15 people looking up until somebody said, "What are you looking at?" I actually asked. I mean, you wait, otherwise you say anyway. And I went, "I'm standing outside a medical marijuana dispensary in this." Yeah, I'm from New Jersey. I heard the sky's gonna fall, you know, and I don't see it, man. I just don't see it. So apparently my state's fucked up, you know. And everybody, ah ha ha ha. But it was it did show me what it could be like here, and you had to have a certain sign for your dispensary in the beginning. It couldn't be color. It had to be black and white or something. I mean, the rules were holy crap. And I'm laughing because it was negotiations where you go, okay, and it can only be in a certain kind of bag when it leaves the dispensary. Okay. And none of it mattered. None of it did at all, you know. I think I raised eyebrows when I bought my first marijuana legally. You can't imagine what it meant to me the first time. And when I opened my door at Curaleaf, and I got in all by myself, it's hard to share your joy sometimes when you're by yourself. So it's everybody's joy. And when it was finally my turn, and it's like, how can I help you? I want some of the stinkiest stuff you got because I'm tired of hiding it. Don't care what it is. I want the one you're going to smell a mile away. And I did it with grand gestures and stuff. And anyway, this is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want the one that you're smoking tonight.
Yeah, the one that used to get me in trouble when it was illegal for me, you know. And now here we are. But again, I guess to the point of what I'm hoping this all comes to is there's clearly differences between states. We're all Americans. We all live in the United States. We all are under the same federal law, yet we get to do shit our own way state to state. And we got 50 of them. And they're far apart as could be, some of them. And there's people now hearing in other states what we heard 15 years ago. The same shit. They haven't changed. They got the same playbook. We can be of help. And it seems to me the one thing people could make it, and us too in New Jersey, to know, make sure there's legislators that we do know that might understand what we're doing, so that we can say, listen, Senator Doer, if somebody in another state says this, and you know it didn't happen here, would you be willing to talk to a colleague from another state? I mean, make sure you got the message. Like if somebody, you follow me, that somebody in another state could be at a hearing and go, there's a senator during New Jersey that is certainly willing to talk to you about that, or in a discussion, you know. I can give you his contact. I'd appreciate it if you'd at least give him a call, you know, and then tell me where you think he's wrong about, you know, it's, I saw, there's a video of a debate going on. This is some time ago. And drug warriors, medical cannabis. I can't remember if it's a national normal thing. It was like high-powered people there. And in the debate, somebody started talking about what's going on in the Netherlands. Well, in the Netherlands, you know, and somebody was ready and said, I have right here now on speed dial, the Minister of Health in the Netherlands. And I can get him right on here right now to talk to you. And I'll give him my time. I put him to the microphone. No, that's not the way we debate here. Whatever, it was like a discussion, and it was brilliant. I see that happening here. I'd like to, because we're going to hear stuff, and there's states that have gone beyond us, and we're going to hear something, and I'd love to have somebody, a colleague of yours from another state, would love to talk to you about this. Will you agree to do that or no? In a state that's done that, they're not finding this to be true. You know, to be able to have that and make somebody say, no, I don't want to talk to them, you win. It's as simple as that. But you need that carrot. This can also be something growing from this little nebula of whatever it is we're doing here tonight. I don't want to give up on it. I'll always find a time if I can't stay much longer, or I have 2 beers and I normally wouldn't even be doing this anywhere else. Keep at it, you know, and goes how it goes on July 10th. And then got a whole nother year till the next National Patient Awareness Day, Cannabis Patient Awareness Day. You know.
And July 10th, that's at the State House Annex again.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't mind the way it's July 10th. Wow, why July 10th? 710. Turn it upside down, it spells oil. Patients like stuff like RSO, you know, oil, RS, oil. Patients. It's a really good way of, you know, I think rather than something like 420, where did it start? Let's be real freaking definite where July 10th started and why, you know.
That's
like
right.
this is why July 10th. And it is the Rick Simpson oil that I think that if it wasn't that, it would have been something else, but that was the game changer. That was the game, right? That was the game changer. It's a good idea for July 10th, you know, I mean, so can I ask you something? What does it cost for 2 shitters to rent? Like, okay, 2 portable toilets. This is like to me, we're a gathering here, and I don't know if this is the kind of thing where it's like here you post here.
I understood.
Here was the meeting, but let's get other people to the meeting. Yeah, this is the meeting. What does that cost?
For
what does it
for two wheelchair accessible shitters? 2. I mean, they're not just shitters, they're wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, well, 2 of them would be 600 because one of them was like 300, over 300
for just one day.
Yes, well, for a day or a week, it doesn't matter. So
okay, so you get a day or a week, but 1 delivery, 1 pickup, and it can go for okay.
Yeah,
because you've had them there. You've paid for them.
I had one. One big one.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Well, that's why I had the fundraiser for you. So, you know, you can get more shitters when you need them.
Jim, you paid for the shitter. Thank you.
You know, I like to hang signs on the shitters at these events because
Remember this
Okay.
while you're shitting. Think of Jim.
Hey, by the way, there's no reason not to have something to read on the back of the door, you know? The big old,
True.
as long as you're sitting here, here's a number
It's
you
smart.
can call,
Yeah.
you know?
Everybody's got to go. Everybody's got to go. So they're going to see it. They're going to be there. That's why it's funny when Lefty will
Rick
be at an event or
Scutari's
something,
number, it
and we're
depends.
about to like set up shop or whatever.
Yeah.
Lefty, I don't even know if he
Okay.
realizes this, but he's always like, "Let's go right next to the shitter."
How about this? A sign with Nick
They're going to see
Scutari.
everybody. They're going to make their rounds. They have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
all.
Not for nothing, but back in my single days, when I went to a bar, I went and sat where near the women's room, because when somebody you might want to know walks in, you know she's walking out, and you got a little time to get your shit together. You take a shot, you know, but that was because within an hour, everybody, you know, and now it's better with smoking has to be outdoors because, oh, look, she went out to have a cigarette. Okay. Now I don't need to have a cigarette, but I can have a phone, be making phone call, open the door and stuff. I'm sorry. I got field vision. I can't help it.
No, it's all about people watching,
So,
man. I love
but-
that.
yeah.
I love going out in public. Just
So what
people
about
watching.
I mean, you could probably become an urban legend by leaving a sign, something like, here's Senate President Scutari's phone number. If you're a male, you're probably going to be here for a few minutes.
Do you guys want to all
If you're sitting down facing this, you're going to be here long enough to call him. Please give a call, you know.
We can all team up and like just commit to like every time we go into a public restroom, like writing something on the wall, like contact Senator Scutari and or whatever we want to write. If the
Oh,
four of us
man.
commit
Here we
to
go.
it,
Ready?
think of how many
Yeah.
public restrooms will hit like in a month.
Yeah,
Before you know
Talk
it,
shit while you shit.
That's
That's
call your
funny.
senator.
One
Yeah.
home
Talk
girl,
about
call
this
Scutari.
shit.
yeah. Well, actually, there was a movie, I forget who, with Robert Urich was in it. And it was Turk 22 or something like that, a fireman got back, and somebody was leaving graffiti all over New York and they couldn't catch him. And it was, but the whole point was, it's like that. It was like they couldn't, you know, and if it's entertaining, come on, you've never been entertained by like looking and saying, why did somebody print that so small? And you look to see what it reads, and it says, if you can read this, you're shitting at a 45-degree angle. I'm just
Oh, man,
saying,
I'm gonna do that at the Union Hall. Actually,
it's pretty funny, right? You know, I mean, it's not obscene. It's just, you know,
That's pretty funny.
yeah, it is.
I like the
I'm
toilet
gonna
paper.
get someone with that. I like that.
Yeah,
Like,
but it all devolves from, you know, as long as you got that shitter. I got to say, putting that sign for Scutari on the side of it, it just was a really, really good view.
yeah, let's decorate the shitter again.
Yeah, well, yeah, and
I think we should
Also,
smoke out the shitter, hotbox it.
I might not be back to the
Hotbox
the
the shitter.
hippie
Whoa.
truck.
Wait a minute. Wait. Back it up. That could
Oh,
be.
I thought we were just gonna roll past that.
Yeah, no, that's the
You might have thought wrong.
Yeah, legendary
Yeah.
idea.
We can tape
Look,
up the
if
vents.
we do it, yeah.
Tape up the vent on top. Yeah, there's a vent on top. You got to tape it up. We'll bring tape for that, and we'll hotbox that son of a bitch.
But we got to do it before anybody actually shits in it, because
Yeah.
if that methane
Oh,
starts to
yeah.
build up, we're gonna blow ourselves up.
And life is all about double-edged swords. They're everywhere.
Wait,
Damn.
All right, let's blow ourselves up. with
Great
the-
idea, but horrible at the same
mean-
time. Shit.
we could die doing this.
Let me
Yeah, so let's do
pro-
it.
Let me propose something that paralleled something we did when I was much younger. You could take something that slow burns buds and put it where it can't be knocked over, hurt, and it's going to be a hot box when you walk in. But if you didn't want it, it wouldn't be good. Didn't you have two portable toilets at one
No.
point? Never had two? It just really,
Always one.
wow. The wheelchair one looks that big, I guess. I don't know.
That was a big one.
Yeah, that was huge.
It really was.
Yeah.
That's just more people we
Oh.
could fit inside to smoke it out.
Yeah. Well, just for those
Kind of hallway.
those who might not know, I saw a hot boxing reference that happened when Lefty, where was it? It was a town hall. I guess the governor Christie was going to be at, and I was getting such a kick out of you smoking a joint right where people were walking onto the sidewalk. You were on a sidewalk and you're having one. I'm a patient, nothing to see here. Medical marijuana patient, nothing to see here.
That was Saraville, actually.
Yeah, okay, but where was it where the local, because that would always get the local police over and we'd straighten shit out in the beginning. And they came over and said, listen, it was like there's an ambulance coming because they're going to have one on hand. And I don't know if it hadn't got there or was just getting there, you know, go over there. So when it was there, he said, okay, go do that over by the ambulance. And we went over, and because somebody was already smoking, we're kind of high, and wandered over to the back, like trying to get in, like, what are we going to go in here and smoke?
Yeah.
And then I guess somebody and what are you doing? And well, they said, well, not inside, you know. And I'm thinking, oh, well, what we're going to do, hot box in an ambulance? That's pretty cool, you know. But the idea is, oh, you know, we're not doing that, huh? But it was all legal, so it made it funny for the first time in my life, you know, where you didn't pucker.
When I die, if I'm not hotboxing the hearse, then you're not bringing my corpse anywhere.
Wow.
Well, you know what?
I'll make
Yeah.
that statement right
I
I'm
got
gonna
a
quote you.
now
I'm gonna quote that.
record.
I got a picture of Steve.
Please do.
I can't remember. There's an AIDS activist that died in Florida after they had Florida. I'm sorry, Washington D.C. And they had just had a ballot initiative where it passed by 69%, but and then Congressman Bob Barr stopped the vote from being counted in DC. That would mean that they would need to get their funding to implement the program from Congress because they don't have Trenton, they don't have a capital. They get their funding from people like Bob Barr, and he made sure they got no funding, not even to count the vote, which obviously got struck down, and we found out 69%. Well, Steve, I forget his last name, and another guy, and I forget his whole name. They were the impetus that got this passed. And when Steve died, his friend carried out his promise with a permit, and they had open casket at Lafayette Park, right by the White House fence there. They had his body open casket because he wanted to have one more representation. So, you know, top of my list is that. Now, I wish I remembered his name, but the other one was my advisor when I was arrested for helping Cheryl block Bob Barr's doorway in, you know, his office doorway in DC. And they arrested me, and then they didn't arrest her. So I went to court, and she was my only witness, and they didn't allow her in court because she would taint the jury, and they refused to take care of her because she was too sick to take care of. So I had no choice but plead. You know, I mean, I couldn't. They ran that by me. But anyway, the advisor was the guy who carried out his partner's last wish. He was my advisor, and it was so cool that turns out I got a judge, a woman, I'll call her a Judge King, and she had some problems with her judgeship and was going off at 3 o'clock, but it was like 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock. And when my lawyer was talking about the demonstration, she wanted to be clear, what was this about, this demonstration? He goes, medical marijuana, Your Honor. He goes, I thought so. Motion denied. I thought so. Motion denied. She asked what it was about, found out, and denied the motion based on it was that. Okay, I wasn't feeling too good right then. So anyway, he said he wanted to work out a deal. I wasn't going to plead guilty. I'm not guilty. He wanted to work out a deal. And then he came back to me and said, anybody's better than her. What we got to do is pretend like we're doing this till 2:00. Then she'll say, I can't take the case. I'm off at 3. After that this is the way it'll work, and you'll get assigned another judge. Anybody's better than spin the wheel. And I asked my guy, him, and I said, what do you think? Because I just trusted this guy with my life at that point. I mean, if he's going to do that for somebody, he's my guy. And then he was right, because my lawyer came back about 2:30 from talking, and he goes, oh, it got assigned to a maverick defense lawyer who's now a judge. He's the guy you'd want. And just nothing to do with what we're doing here, but I thought you might find it interesting that, because I don't talk that often, that it was so cool to have that judge. He was every bit of it. And when my lawyer said, listen, I want to show you a picture of Cheryl and Jim with Bob Barr 2 days before this in his office, and there was no animosity. This wasn't a surprise attack. There was no animosity at the office. It was something he said at the office that stirred them to do this. Okay, it's not exactly true, but it sounded good in court. And the defense, the prosecutor jumped up and said, well, there was nothing in the agreement about pictures. The prosecution has pictures too. To which the judge went, sit down. You're not supposed to speak during this. That was part of the agreement too. I had a good lawyer. He said, yeah, we'll plead guilty, but they don't get to say squat. And with all this, the judge was looking at the picture. He's looking at me. He knows Cheryl's not even allowed in court. She's not there. He's seeing the picture. And it was pretty cool when it was all done. And he said, do you want to say anything? And I go, no, my lawyer said it all. I just want to apologize to the 8 Capitol Police who were here, ready to make sure that this was an all-day event, because they got better things to do. So they should have never been here. I'll apologize for that. That wasn't my doing either. And it's so cool. And when he's done, he says, no fine, no time. I apologize for have to get $50 for you for the victim's compensation fund. Other than that, you're free to go. And I wish you well. And then it was so cool, because I'm looking at right at the prosecutor while he's saying that, doing like this stuff, Anyway, sometimes it's worth stepping out like that,
Oh, that's a good
And
reflection.
yeah, and for me to be talking to you two diagonally to me here, Bong Holio and El Rampador, you make me look like a punk ass, I mean, so you understand, and I know Jake, you're picking up on this. You're going to end up corrupt like us.
I love when you tell stories about all the stuff you've gone through or whatever. I love it so much or whatever.
It's so simple too. It never involves a juggling talent or anything. It involves basic lowest common denominators.
I actually had to get going, but I had to get going actually a little bit ago. But I was enjoying listening to you so much, Tim, that I didn't want to cut out now. All right, I enjoyed this, guys. I'm going to hang out. I got plans.
Have fun, man. It was good seeing you.
More karaoke.
No. You know how I am about my privacy rights. I don't want to disclose that due to safety concerns.
Yeah, the karaoke was amazing last night. Just got
that was
where was it? If it's not a safety concern, your karaoke last night.
Well, we went down right at the corner at the end of my street here. There's a bar that does karaoke every Wednesday night. So I'm like, it's just right there. We did the Halloween parade and the St. Patrick's Day parade, and like there's the people in town. Every now and then I hear someone say something about Bong Holio, And whatever, my ego
Yeah.
gets inflated. I enjoy that. I love that it's come to a place where that's like a thing. So there's that. But I'm like, I want to hit this bar up and do it like, just a hit job, a karaoke job. Just walk in, walk in as the bong, do one song and just get the hell out of there.
But before you go, and make sure if I got this straight, because okay, it's 3 beer and some tokes night. I'm not sure. The Springsteen concert where there was Nick Scutari
Oh God.
and former Governor Christie.
Oh God.
Where have I got that corrected? That was part of Bongholio's prize from
Yes,
Halloween.
Jim.
Okay,
I
want to make the connection to make sure it's straight.
The connection is real and it's large and it's big.
And it's something that when somebody says, you just this, you just that, I would want to have a handout with that as the reply. Yeah,
Jim,
that's what also got the Scutari statement that's in the freaking everywhere now. Oh, he's got a plan for a very, very small amount. It's all because of Bongholio going to a gay bar.
I've been, 100. I love how you just put that.
And I say that with all love and affection, by the way. Okay.
No, 100%. But listen, I've been through shit with people giving me backlash with the Bongholio thing. I mean, there was some serious backlash at times.
I know.
And then just recently after the Madison event, that was like, there was shrapnel coming out of left field, right? It was out of control or whatever. But what was nice and,
wasn't out of control for you though?
Not at all. During that week of Halloween, I bragged. I was boisterous. I'm going to Martell's in Point Beach. I'm going to win $500 in cash. That was my whole thing. I bragged about it. To me, there was no contest. I was just going to go pick up my money and get paid to party, essentially. That was the energy that I had. That's the energy that I brought. I wound up going to Martell's, Jim. I don't know if you know the story. Everybody's like, wait, you can smoke you? You can hit yourself? I'm like, yeah, I suck myself off to get high. I got the baby with me and they're like, you can hit the baby. My baby loves to be hit. And people are like floored. And they're like, we have to go outside in the smoking section. Like, I have to see this. So I go outside, I have like a gang of people and I wind up smoking myself. I'm hitting the baby and security guard comes up and he's like,
yo, that sounds,
he's like, you can't do this here. He's like, you can't do this here. He's like, waving both of his hands. Like, you got to stop. And I was like, well, I can do this here. I'm like, I'm allowed to. He's like, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do this. And there's a whole bunch of people around watching this happen. People taking pictures, taking videos. And now he's discouraging like the education of what's happening right now because he's telling me I'm not allowed to do it. So I'm explaining to him, I'm like, no, I'm a medical patient. I'm actually allowed to do it. This is your smoking section. You're allowing people to recreationally use tobacco and I'm using my medical cannabis. It's your position that you can choose to do so and not allow me, in which case I'll then leave, but I'm going to continue doing so, and he's like, he's all flustered or whatever. He's like, no, you can't do this. The Rat was hosting that party at Martell's. So they were handing out tickets to whoever was like a contestant who they thought was good enough to go up on stage. So the Rat guy sees this going on. He like runs up to me and gives me like a paper, like, which means you're eligible, because he's trying to get me to stay. There's like a whole big moment of like, how is this going to play out? And I'm going to continue to smoke. And he's like, if you just stop, you can stay. And I was like, I'm going to continue to smoke. So I continue to, and there's a girl who shouts out, she goes, if the bong's leaving, I'm leaving too.
No.
But I have the general public. I mean, I have the entire general public in my corner, not only in my corner, but willing to follow through with how this night's going to go down for me. You know what I mean? Like, so they kick me out. I walk out smoking. I almost wasn't even inhaling. I was just trying to like plume, like puff into as many as I could while they were walking me out. So then I go next door to Jenkinson's, right? Now, I know they have the biggest Halloween event in New Jersey, whatever. That's their whole thing.
Right. Yeah, I remember now.
I was under the impression that they give out prizes, like, TVs or, like whatever. I didn't want like a TV. In my head, I'm like, I just want $500. I know, I want cash. I don't want gifts or whatever. So whatever. I wound up getting kicked out. And we walked right over to Jenkinson's. I have like the girl who shouted that comment and like two of her friends. and I have like two people I'm with. So we have like a little gang. We now go over to Jenkinson's. And I go into Jenkinson's and I have no idea what the prizes are. We're doing plan B. There's an audible happening. Have like a really good time / incredible, horrible time, in the sense where I'm around so many people. I can't move. Everybody's drinking. Everybody's drunk. They love me, but they're smacking the bomb. They're whacking me. They're hitting me super hard, like, because they're so happy to see me. But I'm hearing the echo and it's not enjoyable. And I'm like struggling and I'm like fake smiling. And I'm like, this is incredibly like horrible. Like, I had to ditch a few things with the baby. He has the guitar on it. I had to pull it off of him, put it inside of it because there was no room. I had to ditch the carrier. So it's just me and the baby holding it, so I'm doing all these things, focused on winning whatever the hell the prize is, because I'm essentially working. It is a job at this point because I know I'm going to win, but I have to win and I have to have fun and I have to feel great about it, So I'm having a wonderful time the whole time. I go up there, I win, and I have no idea what the hell the prizes are. They bring me like, through the kitchen, and I go up to the table or whatever, and I'm like, so what did I win? And they gave me this trophy, this like gigantic trophy. I'm like, oh,
trophy.
Okay, what else? They like, there's $2,000, $100 gift card to restaurant, $300 worth of scratch off lottery tickets from New Jersey lottery tickets, Bruce Springsteen tickets, 65-inch.
What's the first thing you found? Or what's the first thing you heard though? In other words,
the first thing I saw was $2,000.
Okay. Back up to that. That's the first thing you said. Okay, now that you're here, you don't know what you got. What you were getting. Well, here's $2,000. Did you say something like?
Jim, I promise you on my life, I had zero clue that any of those were options for me. I'm just it's just like Saturday night, Jenkinson's, Point Beach. It's craziness.
You heard the phrase 2,000.
There's no time to focus on nothing. I don't know what's going on at this point. I don't even know what the hell's going on. So I look at this stuff. I don't know that any of this is for me. I say to the guy, I said, so what did I win? He goes, you won all that. What? I said, I won all of this? I said, I won all of this? And he's like, yeah, you were amazing. And I was like, you guys are amazing. What? I was like, you're kidding me, It's like incredible. I was like, I won all of that? You gotta be kidding me. I thought I was just gonna win $500. I didn't even know they were giving these prizes away. So I was like on this ultimate high because I also won the other, was it 2 or 3? God, I don't even remember. Did I win 3 or 4?
Two? I think at least 2 others. I
went to
remember
the gay bar.
You were like on this 3-day circuit or something.
I won 3. No, I won 4. I won 4.
No, you won 4.
Nice.
I won 4.
So do you retire or are you going on tour?
Oh, you go to Pennsylvania or New York?
Yeah, I'm going to Pennsylvania. Yeah, exactly. Let's go. Yeah, no.
You're moving on up, right?
Yes.
Or just getting out of town to somewhere else, or one of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, but listen, Jim, I'm telling you, I was
going international.
So I have this money. This is great. I had no idea they were giving away these prizes or whatever. In the back of my head, I'm like, oh, maybe I could even sell the TV because I don't even know how to upgrade. You know what I mean? You need money to upgrade in life. You have to have the finance. It has to make sense. You can't overexpend. Like, you have
ridiculous.
to work within your limits or whatever. So in my head, I'm like, oh, 65-inch flat screen Samsung TV. I'm like, I'll sell that.
Did you sell it?
Money's money's on my mind or whatever. That was the whole point. So long story short or whatever, I still laugh hysterical when I watch. This is a TV that's for like a home. I live in an apartment. This is a TV for a home.
It's for a movie theater.
Yeah. Otherwise, in your place, you ever get too close, you actually have to look back and forth to see shit happen. You can't just.
I only watch it when I'm in bed or lying back on the couch that I have, which are both at the farthest points in the room. It's gigantic.
And yet what wasn't in that box was, oh, you'll get to talk to Chris Christie and Nick Scutari
Well, see, that's
during the
the thing.
course of this.
So I never imagined that the TV was going to be the best prize because
Oh,
it
it
gives me
wasn't.
this joy all the time. And I love making people laugh and smile with the Bong thing. And I watch this TV and I laugh and I smile at the ridiculousness that it's now giving me back. Like that's the whole beautiful circle with it all. So the TV wound up being the best gift. The money was spent. We have bills, we have expenses, you don't remember those things. Went out to a couple of nice dinners. Me and Lefty went to dinner with Mary. Which I was more than happy to take them out to because I wanted all of us to experience just a wonderful time. It was the best. We went to Rooney's right on the Long Branch, right? Place was incredibly packed. It was like a 45-minute hour wait. We go in there and they were like, I guess Mary knew the guy who was like there. It was just weird timing. She was like, she knew the guy, but he doesn't work there like every night. Long story short, we walk in. Next thing you know it, some sort of blessing happens where we now are just let in and we have the best seat where if Governor Murphy went to Rooney's, they would have sat him there right in front of the big glass panel windows, right on the boardwalk. Beautiful view. Couldn't have had a better time, right? So I'm like, that's the memory. The money went to other things, bills, all that stuff, Love the fact that we did that. We had the best time ever, So healthy for the soul. So the concert was never that was not supposed to have any sort of magical upgrades. That was supposed to just be me and Lefty having a great time. Enjoying the fact that we had a crazy year,
How do you run into them?
Enjoying the few perks that comes along with this.
Well, we didn't even know we had a good.
We didn't even know we had a suite. I was supposed to.
Okay, now I didn't know that till you just told me now. So I'm trying to get you to wander me through it. I'm sorry if I'm keeping you later, but you have a suite.
I'm enjoying telling you this story.
What is a suite there?
A suite is an entire room that is not just seats. There's seats where you can sit in those seats, but there's also a lounge. It's carpeted. There's couches. There's bar stools.
So from the lounge, can you see what's going on?
Everything's open view. It's like hanging out in the living room.
I've never been in a suite.
There was free food. Me and Lefty were freaking out. There was free food all against the walls. There was free alcohol if you wanted to drink. Every single bar top, like little counter had like glowing like buckets filled with like iced beverages, like it was incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So the concert itself was so amazing that I'm like, I can live good. This was the best night ever.
We had the best night ever.
So what happened? Nick Scutari, Chris Christie.
Well, it gets better. Then we went
it gets much better. So
don't hurry it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Now we're in the whole VIP, the whole level. You don't have to leave right away. Everybody else is ushered out. Everybody's got to go.
After it's all done.
You have VIP, yeah.
But now you're hanging out. Oh, okay.
We're chilling. We're hanging out.
There wasn't a concert going on, and you're hanging with Scutari and Christie.
No, not like that at all. So we wind up we walk into another room, Jim. There was like people probably from Bank of America, like all these different corporations. There was an empty room full of all of these goodies. There was like shrimp. There was like prosciutto, all rolled up meats. There was little cubes of like vegetables and like, fruits and just
fruit.
Incredibleness.
Grapes.
Basically anything you wanted. So we sat in that room for like 40 minutes. We watched them break down the entire room. We just enjoyed ourselves. Nobody bothered us.
Nice.
Nobody bothered us at all. And then, they came in to clean. At that point, the show had ended probably at least 45 minutes, an hour.
Sweeping you out the door.
Yeah, they come in, they're like, all right, you guys have like, 5 more minutes or whatever, then get going. We're like, all right, we're ready to leave. We had the best night ever. We walk out, and sure enough, bam, who the hell walks? Like, he must have been in like the room next to us or a couple rooms down. It's Scutari. Lefty sees him, and I'm like looking at him, and Lefty's like, is that Nick Scutari? Like, yes. Yes, yeah, it is Nick Scutari.
And he turns into Chris Christie's room. Chris Christie had a room. He turns into Chris Christie's room.
Had a room.
So I looked and I see Chris Christie sitting in the room.
Okay,
now, we didn't know Chris Christie had a
in the room. What do? You just follow him in? I mean, what the fuck?
Yes.
No, really?
Of course.
Why not?
You walked in on them
Oh, yeah.
smooching, didn't you?
We just
That's, seriously, more people should know this story because it ups your profile as I'm hearing it, and you can't up your profile with me much anymore. You're right up there. But that it's not just this opportunity rolled in front of you. It's what I would picture. No hesitation. Oh, here we go.
But Jim, not only the opportunity, but the best part about it was a grand golden setting. The setting was nothing like you would imagine. We're at a concert. They're liquored up. Everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, they're
We're
buzzed.
all VIP. They don't know why we're there, but we're just as important in this setting.
Holy
Just
shit.
as important. So what's going on? We're all hanging out. There's carpet on under our shoes.
Yeah.
There's food all around. What's
Yeah.
up?
What?
The best
Oh my
setting you could ever
God.
imagine.
I would love to hear the other side of this with either Nick Scutari or Chris Christie telling this story to somebody else from their point of view.
It's probably like,
And then I
why-
look up and holy, what, and
why
they're,
are they there?
and we're in this golden suite and they're like right there. That had to be stunning. I
It
mean,
was
to
incredible.
Nick Scutari, because go back how many years, Lefty? Nick Scutari, Cory Booker, Broken Jar. You ring a bell?
God.
And then you're gonna be in court that Nick Scutari is the judge of and
He was a prosecutor.
prosecutor, rather, not the judge. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's beer. That's why
I
I don't
went through
drink
like
beer a
4
lot.
prosecutors, and I called one what I call her, an idiot.
Yeah, but then that's you and him, and then
Contentious.
and now there's you and him there.
Weird.
His point of view of this is probably way more entertaining than your point of view.
Yeah, much more weirder.
Way weirder.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and if he had a couple of drinks and all, woo, woo. Oh,
Yeah,
you know
no,
what?
they were both
Yeah.
blitzkrieged.
I mean, I'm sorry for saying this is the best part of tonight, hanging out with you guys. This
I know,
I
I agree.
No, but it all goes again to the greater point, that this was all from you being you, and you get shit from people for you being you. I didn't see them there that night. You didn't run into your shit givers. You ran into the Senate president and the former governor who made things the shit they are today. Got a statement out of Scutari you could relay that.
Yeah, and I guarantee the naysayers and the shit talkers, I guarantee you, Jim, they were on Facebook shit talking when we were doing that.
No shit. Yeah, no doubt.
Guaranteed.
No doubt. Yeah. Well, we got, yeah, I'll tell you, this is a good night for me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna probably get running too, because I didn't have dinner yet. That was
Well, here, let me do the list.
Oh, right on.
Let me do the list. Here we go.
oh yeah, hold on a
Thanks.
second. Wait,
What's the list?
before you do, I need a second, because last time you did it, you went right into it and it was going on before I realized it. And to me, it is good practice to do this in the way that if it wasn't just us, it would make somebody feel like shit, knowing exactly what you're doing. I want to feel it, because it spurs me on too. I mean, it's sort of self-inflicting a wound, sort of. But
No, here it is.
I always loved it back in the day when we considered it our job to make people feel like shit at the end of a podcast. The whole purpose is to make you all feel like shit, so that you will do what it takes to correct the shit that you're feeling, and to show that there are consequences. And it's not just a matter of, we'll get to, 2 years we got a bill? 2 years, no hearing on medical cannabis bills. The suffering that's going on with people who can't afford their own patients. People died because of that. Okay, I'm ready. I'm sorry. But
Well, I want to thank cmmnj.org, Cannasense, UFCW Local 152. Woo whoop. Thank you, Jake. Jack Smoking Monkey, Arlo Glass, OprahMachine.com. Pure Puff Lifestyle Shop and sativacross.org. And Jim, thanks again for donating your birthday money to Sativa Cross. That's amazing.
Thank you very much for inviting me on and everything. You know, this was an incredible opportunity.
Well,
Yes, sir.
you know, and I want to say that for after we try to make you feel like shit by naming people that have died at the end of this and reciting the ode to remembrance. But
And
you know,
happy birthday, Jim.
oh, it will be. Yeah, it will be.
I got a video to send you on your birthday. I got a hippie guy I got to send you. I send him to everyone, Mikey. Anyone who has a birthday, I send him the hippie.
I'm so glad for that guy.
I love him.
I love that he has that.
He's so happy. And Jim, when you see it, you'll understand. You'll share it too, because it's just.
When I say he has that, I'm not even talking about that song. It's that happiness you're getting it.
Yeah,
I need that.
Got it.
Okay. Cheryl, Sabina, Diane, Gracie, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lulu, Becky, Jeff. It's a long one. Thanks, fellas. Let's take us home here. Hey, do any of you guys know the last four? Jim, do you know the last four?
The last four.
They shall grow not old. Do you know that one?
Yeah, that's the fourth stanza.
Yeah, I'll do the third one, and you can do the.
I'll do the last one. It's I don't want it not to come when I need it to. You know, they shall not grow old as we shall grow old.
I know Mikey can do it.
Yeah,
Mikey.
But don't make me show the downside of having a couple of beers with Cannabis.
All right, Mikey, you do it then. All right, so I'll.
Oh no, I'm gonna do it.
You gonna do it? Okay.
No, I'm gonna do it with Mikey.
Yeah, and
do it with
Jim,
Mikey.
And Jim, you feel good about enjoying your life and being the best Jim Miller that you are. You have every right to enjoy yourself and feel good about everything. And thank you for all the shit that you've been through, even though you did it for reasons that weren't for. Well, we could go deep into that, but you've been on a path.
It was years being a gatekeeper, a decade. Just getting that gate open and then keeping it open, waiting for the bandwagon, and then the bandwagon came and went. Anyway.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe.
I love that. Now that's the powerful part right there. That's what I want to do.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old.
Age shall not weary them,
nor the years
condemn.
At the going down of the sun, and in the morning.